Sir, at this point, it would be right to also look back Senthil Kumar's suicide.
Yes.
Senthil Kumar's suicide, maybe 2008. Senthil Kumar's suicide, 8 years before, and now 8 years after. Suicides have been increasing, and Senthil Kumar's suicide was after suicide. I suppose many of the Dalit leaders, activists, there was a large protest were happening. And I think there was a large debate also was happening in academical circle. And Senthil Kumar has been history now in many of the students' movement activism. But 2016, there is another student died. Before 2016, 2015 or 14, between that Madhari Venkatesh, a student, science student, who was not allotted a guide, who has been harassed and he committed suicide. That time there was a debate, discussion where people were referring that since he is not part of any movement, he committed suicide. They said, at least this is unofficial discussion, I'm not saying recognized. So it was quite interesting for me. So that now this person who committed suicide has been an active student in a Dalit movement. So that how do you see 8 years later the suicide? Do you think there is a forward happening, and what are the changes, and is it a positive or negative? As a frank reply.
No, because of course there's some extent the student movement and student politics give some kind of an energy to fight, and also some kind of consolation and confident that there are people around us, there are people who will take care of us, and so on and so forth. But this case, though Senthil Kumar issue and Venkatesh issue was debated at large, but this issue, the both university authority and Dalit intellectual, Dalit academia, and even why Dalit alone, and also the general academia in the country should have taken this particular case and much more seriously, and they should have come forward their solidarity and resolve this crisis, because 5 students is almost rusticated. It is not completely, because they have allowed to enter into the department and university, but they have been thrown out of hostel, they have been prevented from entering canteens, they are prevented from entering other public places.
Social ostracization.
Social ostracization executed by the higher learning of Central University, which is shocking. And the teaching community and also political class and political other those who were claimed themselves as a progressive politics, the barrier of progressive politics, they should have not only expressed the solidarity, they should have come forward and resolved this question much earlier, because on December 15 they was thrown out of the hostel and they came to the street, and they have been struggling, they have been pleading for support, they pleading for revocation of this inhuman punishment which meted out to 5 Dalit scholars. So he is able to understand that even if you are associated with the movement, unless until if a larger society, larger political support lacks, then he become empty. That is a language he used. That is a language he used in the suicide note. I am become empty. I don't want to blame anybody, and it's all my responsibility. Is it a way that society and the people and the state and the government and academia will isolate what Marx has called as alienation? It is an alienation of the scholar. The alienation leads to the suicide. This is a pure and complete abatement of a suicide. It is not a suicide mere. It is an abatement of the suicide.
So that you mean to say that the Dalit movement, which many people claim that there are Dalit movement, but you claim to say that, if I understand rightly, that it is not a movement. It is a small few students coming out, and it is not to imagine that a large scale movement is there which could have protected people when they argue. Can I understand like that?
No, the student movement, whatever the small
only that
or
much,
big this thing, but there is a very, very genuine cause, there is a injustice meted out to these scholars. And what about other movement? What for their even other movement like whichever ideology they are in? But what for their because a student or a scholar in a university are thrown out of a unilateral decision by the authorities, and they are pleading and they are protesting in the road, and we all become a mere spectator for this people and staying in the road. And it is I am speaking as a guilty, I am part of this guilty, and I am also responsible for this abatement which my silence is kept.
Thank you, sir.